Joel, are you there?
Yes, sir. What's up,
What's
man?
happening, man? What's going on? I think this is that time of day, man, where we have to really, really, really push in and say thank you. There's so much going on. Hey, welcome everybody to Passion the Prophets TV. I just want to say to you guys that we have a really, really, really cool show today. As you saw in the intro piece, there was a splash for my daughter, Brittany Ross, who has this song, You Win. I want to share that with you guys shortly. You guys gonna see that, and I want to make sure that we don't get any reverb. So let me make sure I turn that sound down. But hey, listen, this man right here that you guys have in front of you is blessed to bring a message, but he does it in a comedic way. He does it in a very pure way, a prosperous way. And he says, dream big, right? This is no other than the comedian and my man, Mr. Joel Roman, actor, Hollywood actor. Man, what's going on, bro? I'm
What
about to
up,
bring you over
Dwayne?
here.
It's your boy Joel El Nino Roman Hollywood. Dwayne, first and foremost, brother, it's so great to see you. It's been a while, and thank you for having me on Passion of Profits, because it's all about that, baby. Chasing your dream, chasing your passion, dreaming big. You know what I mean? Not selling, baby.
I'm gonna have to bring my cell phone up a little higher, right? Because I gotta match some of that juice you got going there, man.
Woo! It's the
You
Holy
got all of
Ghost,
that
baby.
powerful, positive things happening, man. But tell us, man, who are you? Why should people even pay attention to you? What happened, man? How did you get to where you are today? How did that happen? Talk
Wow.
to us.
Who am I? That's a great question, Dwayne. I am Joel Roman. I started acting when I was 19 years old back in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I did some college and some high school theater. And then I said, I got the bug. I was like, I want to keep doing this. And I can make a living out of it? Get out of here. Because I was always that person, Dwayne, that when I told a story, I always had to act it out. I couldn't just tell you a story, brother. I had to get into character. You know, if I was in school reading English class, I always became the character I was reading. And I was like, man, I want to do more of this. So after I did some high school plays, some college plays in Housatonic Theater, I started going to New York. And I started studying with coaches out there, mentors out there, auditioning, booking gigs like Law and Order, Film Fakers, freelancing with agents. And I did that for about 5 years in New York. Off-Broadway plays, independent films. I mean, from Yonkers, New York, the Bronx, New York. I mean, I was up and down Manhattan hustling at the age of 19, getting headshots, networking, doing all that. And then finally, I had a conversation with my cousin in Puerto Rico. He said, Joe, you're doing so great in New York. But New York is double A. It's time for you to go to Major Leagues, which is Hollywood. I said, oh! I said, yeah, buddy. So next thing you know, I was on a flight to Hollywood. And I mean, I was so blessed to meet so many great people out there. I got agents, managers. I booked gigs, TV shows like iCarly, America's Most Wanted, did plays out there, commercials from McDonald's, Walmart, and the list goes on and on and on. And you can see all that on IMDb. I'm up there, as well as www.actorjoelroman.com. And then from there, I went to Mexico, did movies out there, Vegas, San Diego, Virginia, North Carolina, DC, and it's been 20 years, Dwayne, and it's still rocking. It's still happening. And I wrote my own shows, my one-man show, It Ain't Easy Being Gotti, which turned into Quarantine, which turned into Profits. Oh, passion.
Wait, slow it down. Wait, let me get there, bro, because you do have great energy.
Go,
One
baby.
smile to a door saying great energy. Tracy saying, "Hey, welcome, Joel." And I've been saying Joel for forever. But hey, man, listen, you went from at 19 making this decision that you said, I got the bug. I really feel that I have what it takes in order to make this happen. So you decided to embrace that.
Yes.
Prior to that moment, though, were there some indications that you were going to get into acting? Were there some performances that you did? I mean, how did you find that it was a passion versus just something that you like to do?
Great question. Well, see, when I first started living, um, My goal was to be a football player, but and go to NFL. But I got into a car accident in 1997 that where I lost two friends of mine, and I almost lost my life. I was in a coma for a month. So when I woke up out of my coma, I was ready to play football, but the doctor said, "Joe, due to your head injury, you can't play no contact sports." So after crying and crying and crying, I don't know what else to do. I remember going to one of my god sisters' plays in high school, and I said, "Wow, that's fun." So it was my senior year of high school. I went to my guidance counselor and I said, "I want to try acting. Um, where should I go?" He said, "Regional Center for the Arts." I said, "Okay." So I started studying there, right? And the next thing you know, I booked a play in my church youth group at St. Mary's Church. And the moment I got on stage, and I wrote that play. So look, I've been writing since I was 19. I wrote that play, and the moment I got on stage, Dwayne, I didn't want to get off. That's when I got the bug. And people were like, "Joe, how long you been doing this? You're so good at it. Oh my goodness." I said, "This is my first play." They're like, "Get out of here." I was like, "Yeah." And at that moment, Dwayne, I said, "This is my first one, and it won't be my
Won't be
last."
my last.
So I started looking, knocking on doors, opportunities. It was at a community theater, and I'm always searching. I'm always looking, and that's why I knew that I wanted to turn this into a career.
Well, you know what? In order to turn it into a career, you got to get paid, right? So that's why I have passion. This TV show because it's passion to profit. It's showing that people can take what they really love, the thing that they've been given the ability to do, the tenacity to do, the gifting to do. I talk about it in my book. No More Crumbs from the Table, discovering your tag, your talent, your ability, your gift. And see, some people have a talent, right? And they can do it, but they don't live it, right? It's not all the way in. But when you're all the way in, it's your talent, your ability, and your gift aligning. And so you said dream big because you saw it way back then at 19 years old when you got the first taste, got on the stage, did what you had to do. You knew that you can write. How did you know that your writing was really effective?
Ooh, that's good because guess what, brother Dwayne? I didn't know. I want my faith and not by sight, brother. Okay, what? I'm also an acting coach. So one thing I always teach my students is you got to be all in. This is something you can't be halfway. If you treat it as a hobby, it's gonna be a hobby. So whatever you do in life, you gotta be all in. You gotta be an expert at what you want to do. So one day I was laying in bed and I said, "God, I've been in movies, I've been in TV shows, I've been in plays, I've been in commercials, I've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What's next, God?" And as I was going through YouTube, I came across one of my favorite comedians, right? One of my favorite comedians, John Leguizamo. And it was a one-man show he wrote and he performed. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, hilarious." I loved it. Then a light popped up in my head, right? In that moment, I was going through a spiritual journey where I kept saying, "It ain't easy being godly, God. It ain't easy being godly. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm trying to do A, B, and C to live up. But these things come, whether it's temptations, negative thoughts." And I said, "There you go. I'm going to write a one-man show about it ain't easy being godly because I can't be the only one out there thinking like this who's trying to be a Christian, trying to be holy, but all these things are coming at me. And how do we defeat it? By renewing our mind with the word of God." So I said, "God, help me, Lord. Help me put this together because I never written anything besides that one time in high school, and that was years ago." So I was like, well, I'm going to start putting pen and paper. And after a while, I began procrastinating until one night I couldn't sleep. And I felt it was God waking me up at 2:30 in the morning and say, "Stop procrastinating, lay down the foundation." And as I laid the foundation from 2:30 to 6:30 in the morning, the blueprint for It Ain't Easy Being Godly was laid out. And I said, "It's money." And it was God driven because as I was typing and writing, I was laughing, I was having a good time, and I just felt God just inspiring me to write stories that we all go through and how do we overcome it with the word of God. And so my second project that I wrote was It Ain't Easy Being Godly because I knew that it was time to hire myself. Instead of waiting for
Whoa, wait. He said he knew it was time to hire himself. He said, look, they're not gonna. I'm going to hire myself. And you got to have that tenacity. He also said, when you do this, you got to go all in with your dream. You cannot half step toward that thing that you believe. If you believe it, then you got to make a decision, right? You got to decide and then move. You got to go. So what Joel is saying is so powerful right there, because so many people think about it. They say, "Wait, let me pray about it. Let me seek and tarry for the Lord about it." But what you said is like, I'm seeing what he's already doing. I'm seeing what's already in front of me. I'm hearing it on the inside of me, and I'm going to pay attention to my own voice, and I'm going to hire myself. Man, talk about how you made that transition, because a lot of people, what they do is they wait for somebody to validate them. So talk about that, man, because I know you talked about this in the men's conference. That's how we met, right?
Yeah.
Talking in the men's conference a couple of years back, and wow, it's been
Yeah.
it's more than a couple of years, brother. It's like 10 years, man.
10 years,
Oh
brother.
my
Decade.
gosh. Hey,
Wow.
Erica, what happened? No.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's
Yeah.
up, Erica?
You
No.
need to get
So
back in
Erica brought us together,
there.
right? She was doing her conference for the DCG. Anyway, she started doing the men's conference. Talk about this idea, man. This whole idea that, you talk about sell out, but going all the way in. But what about this other thing that we just said? What about? Go ahead.
You see, as actors, a lot of young actors don't realize that we're entrepreneurs. We're subcontractors. The only time we get paid is when we get hired. And me, as a young actor, I was like, I need an agent and a manager to get me gigs. And one of the best things my manager in Hollywood, California taught me, he said, Joe, this was before he signed me. He said, Joe, you know why agents only get paid 10% and managers only get paid 15%? I said, nah, why? He said, because that's all we do. The other 85, 90% is the actor's job. So when he said that, I said, oh, I can't be dependent on these people to get me work. I got to hire myself. I got to be out there marketing myself, hiring myself, creating work for myself. I'm always telling people, create while you wait. While you're waiting for the big boys to hire you, create. Right? And the thing is, see, as actors, as entertainers, we got a need to be accepted. I think that's a general thing, though, about everybody. Everybody want to be accepted, right? But this right here is important because as entertainers, we feel like we're accepted or validated by our peers and by celebrities, audience that is going to take us to the next level, right? So what can that do to us? That can almost mess up who we are internally. Because we could change our image, change our brand, and not be comfortable with who we are. And it's funny because let me tell you something, Dwayne. When I first went to Hollywood at the age of 23, I went out there with a good group of people, of actors and also a promoter and a marketer. And she was dressing me up as someone I wasn't. But I was like, young in the game. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what Hollywood want. All right, cool. Dwayne, the moment I got to Hollywood, my agent said, Joe, you're not that. You are ABC. And I said, okay. And it got me work. It got me auditions. It got me into big studio lives, Dwayne. Sony Brothers, Warner Brothers, Paramount. I mean, I've been all over Hollywood, man. Thanks be to God to when my agent said, listen, that's not where you got to go. You got to know your brand. But then again, you got to know your brand where you're not going to go to, you're not going to go too left, Because I spoke about this in another interview. You got to know yourself. Because if not, you can get tossed and fro all over Hollywood, New York, and the entertainment business. And what can happen? You lose yourself. Because you're like, oh, they want me this way. They want me this way. And guess what, Dwayne? I said this earlier in another interview. It cost me a lot of gigs, Dwayne, because I had a good team. But at that young age, I didn't know. I wasn't fully developed about my brand. So when I would go into auditions, and I'm talking big auditions, Dwayne, big people, big boys, celebrities, casting directors. I mean, I was there, I would sometimes almost sabotage myself because I'm like, I wonder how they see me. Do they see me like a thug? Do they see me a gangbanger? Do they see me as a comic relief? What do they see me? Instead of making the strongest choice, like I teach my actors now, make the strongest choice, be the character, go in, and let it all out. Don't worry about what the cast director thinks or whoever's watching the producer. Just be true to yourself, your brand, and who the character is.
Man, I lost myself right there. Listen, bro, when you talk about that, that's the passion, right? The passion, people get it twisted up. They think that the passion is being excited about what you're doing. The passion is knowing what you are, who you are, and how you show up, and how your like you said, your brand. I love what you said. I want to back up about this knowing yourself. Because you said you can lose yourself, and we hear that all the time, right? Hollywood is full with big city and dreams, right? It's kind of like that song about New York, New York, New York, big city of dreams, but everything ain't what it seems, right? It's like, look behind the curtain and you go, wait a minute, they want me to do what? Next thing you know, you at a party. Next thing you know, you on the couch. Next thing you know, your lifestyle is upside down. You over here and over there. And it's
And
funny
that's the
because,
business.
huh?
And that comes to business. That's why if you're not mentally
Oh yeah,
strong,
yeah. I dabbled. I didn't go all in because at that moment I also had my son born. But I remember when I was with Corey Feldman.
yeah.
Corey's dad had a studio, and then he had this guy Charles Matthews. So I went under Charles Matthews' studio, and I got my first gig was actually Boiling Point, which was at the time it was called Money Men, right? And that's Wesley Snipes and Dennis Hopper, and I'm like, yo, this is like hot, right? I'm in there, I'm on the set, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm an extra, I'm nobody knows me yet. And I'm asking everybody, how do you get a part? How do you get your voice? How do you get your SAG card? Whatever. What you said is you got to know that and have your mental game straight, because see, right then and there, they could have switched me up and put me in here and said, oh, I want you to be a gang member. Oh, I want you to be this, and I love what my man who just passed away, Bozeman said. He said he came to the point where he was like, nah, I'm not compromising who I am to give you ratings or to be who you think I should be. And he actually lost his gig on regular TV, right? But then he becomes my man, T'Challa, for the biggest grossing movie in history, right? So you have to know yourself, choose the right way. Now you have certain value systems that you said that you had. How did Hollywood and acting and being somebody else play into the psychology of your belief system? I
A
want to
lot
know
of
about that.
prayer, brother. A lot of prayer. Cause see, the thing is, I'm a Christian, you know what I mean? But you know what excites me? The non-Christian roles, brother. Those nitty gritty, dirty roles. I love playing, and I gotta always tell myself it's just a character, Joe. That's not you. Because if not, I would. The other side would turn it down. But I don't want to turn down those roles because I'm an actor. I'm a thespian, and those roles excite me. The bat, like you gotta know your brand, but you gotta know you gotta be real too. You gotta see how Hollywood sees you. Like, are you the guy next door? Are you the girl next door? Are you a lead actor, supporting actor, character actor? And along my journey, my 20 years, I realized, oh, Joe, you're a character actor, baby. You know what I mean? You're a character actor. So go where the character leads you. Those stories. Now, don't get me wrong. If they want to give me a lead character role, that's cool. I'll take it. But what I'm saying is, you gotta know. And I one time had a student say, Joe, I'm a Christian too. How do I know if I should take it or not? And I said, if you feel convicted in your spirit that you can't commit to that role and that character, do not take it.
Wow. Hold up, bro. Because that right there, we got to do a stop sign right there. Because there's a lot of Christians right now that's probably like, no, oh my God, how could you do that? Because, if you remember Denzel Washington, right? I really love Denzel Washington because he doesn't play somebody. He's Denzel as somebody, right? He embodies the person that he's supposed to be, etc. But Hollywood didn't give him the Oscar until he did Training Day.
Training Day, baby,
Right?
and that was out of his
Because
element.
it was totally outside of his, like, everybody was like, Denzel as the bad cop that becomes like the gang member? No, right? But that's the one where he had to show that I'm really far away from the guy next door, the good cop that shows up to rescue the girl from the past, the cool dude that's down the street that's doing this and that, all these different roles that he had played. And at first, I was kind of like, because that's that Hollywood stuff, that behind the scenes, we got to still deal with racism and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, I'll give you an Oscar, but I'm gonna give it to you for the most negative character you could play, as opposed to Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
So I still keep that in perspective. But man,
Mhm.
talk about this idea of not allowing yourself to get lost in your character, but embodying the fact that this is what you are, a character actor. Because some people are character actors and they think they're lead actors. They're not. And even when they get a lead role, you go, man, he sucked at that. So talk about that, bro.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Because, see, the thing is, as actors, we want to be able to play everything. Oh, I can do everything. I can do this. And really, no, you can't do everything. You got to find your niche. In this game, all my thespians out there, even entertainers, musicians, dancers, know your niche and know where you fit in the puzzle. Because if not, guess what? If you try to sell yourself just one way that you're not, and you don't get no work, it's going to cost you in the long run. So know your role, know your brand, study yourself, study your craft, develop your craft. I always tell my students, this is a 9 to 5 job. You got to do this every single day. Put in your calendar, who have I contacted? Like this weekend, I'm going to be part of a theater summit as well. Looking to see what's next for Broadway and virtual theater. Because right now I'm working on tweaking my shows in an Easy Being Godly and God Don't Like Ugly for Broadway, working with my Broadway mentor. So you always got to be doing what's next. Because as an artist, you grow. You don't want to stay a green actor. A green actor is someone who don't make choices, who just goes with the flow and never grows. Actors act. Stay active. And always, one thing, a big shout out to World Financial Group. One thing I learned while I was with them, and I'm still with them, and they family. Know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Why do you choose the roles you choose? Why do you act? If it's just to be rich and famous, you're gonna fall out like millions of others. This has to be your passion. You gotta be ready for the no's, the rejection. You gotta keep going and going and going. No matter if people don't believe in you, oh well. You just gotta keep the drive, and the passion will lead to profits in due time. But you gotta know your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you choosing the roles you're doing? And why are you doing what you're doing daily? Do you want change? My bishop once said, change doesn't come without inconvenience. So if you like being comfortable, this ain't for you, because this is an uncomfortable business. And you know what? Those who go far in life love the uncomfortable. Woo!
Those who got far in life love the uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? You got to get to that point where, comfortability makes you like question and like make moves, right? It's like, oh, wait, hold up. This is too comfortable. I got to start doing something, right? Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about how you choose roles, because roles can choose you.
Yes, it's happening.
You show up, you have a certain demeanor, you have a certain whatever. And I kind of remember it was like a conversation where I think it was Cheech and Chong, right? Cheech and Chong, which is way back, right? A lot of people don't know them, but Chong was saying how he wanted to break out of the Cheech and Chong dude, because it was like they locked him in. Same thing with Jamel White, right? Yeah. Urkel was like Jaleel White. Every time they saw him.
What about Carlton?
Yeah, and Carlton. They all got stuck in these roles that no one could see them somebody else or playing anyone else. And in some cases, they'll try to swing the pendulum to be something and then destroy themselves. Talk about that.
Well, you know what happens? I feel like when you're in that situation and you get stuck in a rut as far as that one character, it's time for you to create your own work. Create what you see. Tell your story. I had an interview earlier today for Channel 12 News Connecticut, and I was talking about that too. We all have a story to tell. We have to tell our story. So if you get stuck in a rut, which can happen, it's happened to some of the best actors out there. What do? You're right. Let me tell you something. A lot of times the roles I get are for bad guys. Thugs, drug dealers, gangbanging. And I'm okay with that. Because eventually when I get into that role and I start networking on set, They see, oh, Joe, you funny. You can do other stuff too. Oh, I'm working on a comedy. I'm gonna hire you. Oh, thanks. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that call, I'm creating. I'm writing comedy. I'm writing drama. So if you're an actor who's scared to not want to do typecast, because there are actors out there like, oh, don't take too much of those type of roles, because then you get typecast. Well, let me tell you something. Yeah, that could be true, but eventually, remember, you're in control of your career. No one else. You are. All right. Remember, agents and managers, they get paid when you get paid. So if you want to turn down the road, cool. That's cool. But it's better to be working and developing your own stuff than not working and being home. Because guess what? Actors act. If you're home and you're not acting, whether not in a class, a movie, a TV show, a commercial, you're not writing, you're not an actor. An actor should be creating, and they should
You
be
know,
happy.
that's interesting because recently I've been watching a lot of independent film because I'm looking to, about this that I actually just recently, created my Roku channel and I'm moving toward, big dreams, right? And it was Megan Good. Now, people could say whatever they want to say about Megan Good, but I came across about 4 or 5 independent films that she's been in. Now here she is, a plus Hollywood actor. They bring her into big roles, but she's also doing little side roles. She's doing, stage acting, And then I came across like Denzel Washington again, and he was doing a stage role, and I'm thinking my man could make like millions of dollars doing something else, but he's out there still cutting his craft, right? And so when you talk about this, I think people get they get confused about who they are versus what they do.
Mhm.
How do you help your students figure that out so they don't get lost and then try to become all of what they aren't and then lose who they are?
Great question. It's all about passion, Dwayne. It's all about passion. And one thing I always try to do for my beginning actors is run the question: why are you doing this? Okay. Are you ready for the sacrifices? Okay. Are you ready for the long run? Okay. Are you ready to make strong choices? Okay, great. Because in life, you gotta make strong choices. You gotta take risk and you gotta take chance. My bishop once told me, he said, make a choice or won't be made for you. And that's how it is in the business. Make a choice. Why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, great. Now, listen, there's going to be people that might steer you a different way. You got to be strong and know, is that the route I want to go or not? I was even told one time, hey, Joe, go get tattoos. You'll get more gigs. I'm like, what? I'm like, nah, I've done movies before. And when they want tattoos on me, they'll put tattoos on me that look real. So you got to be strong-willed and not just jump to whatever it tells you. All right, whatever someone tells you, because there will be people telling you things and talking to you, and you got to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what you got to be. You got to know you. You got to know you. And that's something I always teach my students. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't be the yes man. No. Because guess what? When you first get in this game, you're the yes man. Because you want to be accepted, you want to be liked, and you want to be high. You want to be working. But you got to be strong-willed too and say, am I going to be comfortable with doing this? Is this am I gonna be feel right or condemned later? So you gotta know you. And I say this all to all you young artists out there who are thinking about going to New York or Hollywood. Know yourself. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Know what type of roles you want. And it's okay to say no. It might cost you some. Guess what? It might cost you some work. But as long as you sleep well at night, that's okay. See, I have no problem saying no. The thing is, though, I'm that actor that loves character roles. And sometimes them character roles are mean and they'll say things and do things that I wouldn't do. But you know what? I love it and I'm drawn to it. And that's probably why I believe a lot of celebrities might do work that some people like yourself or someone might say, why are they doing that role? Because it's passion. I did a movie with Tony Todd called Doc Waller. Tony Todd, he's done Final Destination. I watched him as a kid, Dwayne, as the Candy Man. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, man, what up, Tony? Working with him in Long Beach, California. And the role that he took, I believe, I never asked him, but I believe he was passionate about it. Because let me tell you something, while he was on set in between takes, you just saw it. He was going through something. Now, if I want to be someone, I could be like, why are you taking this gig? It was an independent film, but we're talking about Tony Todd. He does big blockbusters. I mean, Charlie Sheen is his boy. You
Right,
know,
right, right.
so we're like, man, this ain't a big blockbuster movie. So I'm assuming it was passion. Because man, when I was watching him on set, whoo, it was the Candyman right in front of me, and he elevated everybody's game. It's about leveling up. That's something else I teach people. Level up, level. After a while, you do some extra work. Okay, stop doing extra work. Now level up. You want to work with people? Level up. Write your goals down. Write your dreams. Start talking to people. What do you want to do? And by doing that, you'll weed out what you don't want to do, and you'll say no. I had a conversation with my brother about this. He was telling me how he got some things on his mind, not sure what he want to do yet. So I said, start free writing. Just write your thoughts down and start weeding them out. And as an actor, if we don't do that, you're gonna get weeded out, baby. No,
You said something that's powerful, man, for big dreams. The big dream, man. This is Joel Roman. You guys, just the actor, Hollywood actor. He's here just sharing dropping all kind of platinum nuggets, making sure that you know some information about not only him, but the game. And here's the thing, man, because, there's a number of people now, they're having, second thoughts about how they're going to move forward because of the pandemic. You have a film regarding this whole idea of quarantine and what happens. And I noticed that you did this under Pure Platinum Films, right? Which is pretty cool. Shout out to Pure Platinum Films. Number one, your relationship with Pure Platinum Films and how did that go? And then number two, how did you decide? Like, what was your inspiration? I think I know, but what's your inspiration for playing all those characters? And tell us about the quarantine.
All right, so big shout out to Terrence Sharrock, CEO of Pure Platinum Films here in Virginia. Well, it came about this, man. One day, I'm a hustler. I network. So I went to a comedy show of one of my buddies who's a comedy up in Hampton, Virginia. And after the show, I was passing out free DVDs of my one-man show. It ain't easy being golly. So Terrence was filming the event. He saw my hustle. He's from Jersey. I'm from Connecticut, tri-state area. So he's like, man, you a hustler. Here's my card. Let's connect. And I gave him a free DVD. After watching my films and my one-man show, he gave me a call. He's like, dude, we got to work together. So what he did, he wrote Quarantine during quarantine back early February in a day and a half of my characters, locking them all up in one room, going through what families go through quarantine. And what inspired me about the characters was, see, It Ain't Easy Being Godly came when I was going through some stuff mentally and spiritually. And a lot of it is true, from my life, also from people that I know and share the stories. I just didn't put the name out there. I made, these characters up. But these stories are real, like Miguelito, a special needs kid, not knowing why God made him autistic. He felt like he already lost in life. Like, what's his purpose in life? So he's struggling with that. Then you got Manuel, who's a whoremonger in the street, looking for women to satisfy his love. But what he really needs is God. But he's looking just for that companionship. But he's too prideful to look for God. Then you got Jose, who he's full of lust. Lust of the flesh, lust of money, and lust of just wanting to be accepted and fit in. And he's godly. He knows the word of God, but still the world pulls him in and out. Then you got Loca. Loca, she's that negative woman who, and no matter what, she sees the negative in everything. You can't be positive to her because she's going to come back with you with something negative. All right. Then you got Granny, Abuelita, who knows the word of God real well, but when things hit the fan, she forgets the word of God and she forgets we know in her mind and she starts worrying. Instead, when you worry, you should be worshiping. So remember that. Whenever you feel worried, don't worry. Worship the God. The answer's coming through. All right. And when I got all these characters in my head, I put them together and I started writing it. And I wrote 6 of them, and I wrote more characters for quarantine, like Pastor Plate, John WikiLeaks, And that's how the characters came about. And everybody who sees my shows, they always say, "Hey Joe, I went through that. Hey Joe, a family member, I connect with that. Joe, you nailed it. Joe, I know people like that. Always, 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 always. And that's what we are. I always teach my actors, we are storytellers. Our job as actors, as thespians, is to make people feel. Whether they hate us, love us, laugh. One of the best compliments I ever got was from James Henson Jr. I did a play in Norwalk, Connecticut years ago called The Church, which we actually did in Maryland 2 years ago. And I played a bad guy named Tito who roughed up a woman and used to, shake her like a rag down whenever she didn't do what I wanted to do. And he said, Joe, when I came off stage, he said, the audience hates you. I'm like, yeah, baby, that was my job, for them to hate me. So, that's how they came about. And ever since that night with Terrence, we've been making films left and right. Like Quarantine made it to independent international short awards in Hollywood, which we were finalists. Glory be to God. Now we got another movie in the New York Movie Awards called A Second Chance about suicide, which is different. I play a more serious role in that film. So we stood working. We did another film called Purgatory's Table, which went to the New York Puerto Rican Film Festival and did well there. So people understand, you got to get out. The body was created to move. Whatever you want to do, whether you're an entertainer or the field, you got to meet people. You got to network. Even if you're quarantined, Zoom, network, connect. That's how we met, baby. You know what I'm saying? And opportunities arise. And now a big shout out to Harrison, my distributor in Canada. He's on the hustle right now, looking for investors for us to make a full season of Quarantine. And soon we'll be on Amazon. But right now, you can purchase Quarantine on www.lateflix.com and go check us out on quarantinesitcom.com. Because, yo, we're winning. We're winning.
My man, hey man, it's so much that you just said about all of those different things, and it's so many people. They say they want to do this. So how do they get started? You have students, and you talked about how you help them get their mindset straight. They got to have the skill set, right?
Yeah.
And then they got to be able to take the actions that it's going to bring, not just doing any old thing, but effective, efficient action. So talk about, or tell the audience right now, like, what are the steps? How do they get involved, get started, get on a set? Is it backstage now? Do they send out flyers? What are people supposed to do now? And also, if there's some younger ones, because sometimes you know that you want to do this and you're like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years old. Talk about how that actually works and give the people, some action steps that they can take.
That's awesome. Action steps. I love it. We need daily action steps, action items, like my boy David Kwan from WFG says. WFG, yeah. I got a shot, y'all. I love y'all, baby. All right, so check it out. So first things first, if you want to act, get in a community of actors, all right, or coaches. Develop your craft, sharpen your craft. You know whether you're an actor or not. That's how you get weeded out. A lot of times actors come in because they see it's all fun and all, but when you go to class or workshop, you know if you're an actor. Because acting class is not to teach you how to act. No. Acting class is to help you sharpen your craft. So if you feel like, oh, that's gonna make me an actor, no, it's gonna help you sharpen your craft. And while you're in there, you know if this is for me or not. And also, be ready. Be ready for the long haul. Because I know a lot of people that have came into the game and they fell out because their goals were not aligned with the reality of, the goals could have been, I want to make a quick buck. I want to be famous. But when they saw their hat run away, they fell off. So get your headshots. Get your resume. Get it together. Be connected with the community. All right? Network. Market. Showcase yourself. All right? I always lay out a blueprint for my students. First things first, get a headshot and resume. You want to do this for a career? Okay. People need to know how you look because that's how you get into an audition room. They want to, casting directors and producers, they have a character in mind. So you have to know your brand and what you're selling. You're not selling pretty pictures. No. You're selling a character. So right away, you got to know, who am I selling? What am I looking? What am I visualizing? All right, what do I want the casting director to see when they see my picture? And then build up your resume. You know, whether it's high school plays, college plays, and then when you start getting solid plays like TV shows, movies, commercials, independent films, then take all those high school plays and college plays off your resume. Now that you got your headshot and your resume together, work your craft. All right, and then what you do is you upload it on sites like actorsaccess.com. Go to breakdown services. Yeah, there's a fee, $60 an hour. It's worth it though. You can, not an hour, $60 a year. And what you could do is submit unlimited to projects. You need to be your own agent. All right. Next thing, you have castingnetworks.com. For theater makers for theater people in New York, backstage.com. Those are great resources. And there's a bunch out there. But the ones I use are those three that I just mentioned. And those have gotten me gigs, movies, TV shows. And look for casting director workshops too. You know, I mean, I book gigs. iCarly, Nickelodeon. Check this out. I went to a Hollywood casting director workshop. The assistant, not even the main, the assistant casting director workshop in Hollywood. Went in, did my thing. Next thing you know, I get a call the next day to Nickelodeon Studios to audition. Boom! Booked it. What I'm telling you is get in that environment. Put yourself in the environment of where you want to succeed in life. Whether it's entertainment business, a doctor, law field, engineer, whatever it is, put yourself in that environment. You got to start mixing with the right people. My young kids too, I tell them, listen, if it's okay with your mom, look for young actors like Facebook groups, social groups, have them monitor you and connect with them. The great thing about right now in our society is you can create your own stuff on YouTube. You got your own channel. You know, you have to think creative. We're entrepreneurs. And it's awesome because as a young actor, I didn't understand that until later. I didn't understand that until I got to Hollywood. I said, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. All right, so start thinking now. So think as a boss. You know, you have to control your business. You as an actor is a business. All right, so every 2 years, you should update your headshot. Your resume should continue growing. How? By making sacrifices. Let me tell you, sacrifice is the number one thing in this field. You gotta be, that's why people fall out. Because the sacrifice sometimes can get a little crazy. But see, that's why I encourage to be a believer. Because when you know God's by your side, he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And let me tell you something, when I went to Hollywood, that's when I got deep in the word. That's when I brought my Bible. That's when I started reading the word of God. Because I knew that if I was gonna make it out here, I needed God right by my side to keep me leveled up and going. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had moments when I wanted to give up. Two times. But guess what? It didn't let me. And that's why I knew, I'm all in. I've invested a lot of time. I invested a lot of money. And guess what? We're going. The best is yet to come. And all I'm going to do, Dwayne, is dream big, baby. Because quarantine is coming to a TV near you. Because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, baby.
Listen, man. Big dreams, dream big. Yes, you have to. And here's the thing, sacrifice. You are the business. You know, I'm a business man. I am the business, right? Success is up to you. Mix with the right people. Children, get some representation, but put yourself in the game. So many things you said. Hey, man, listen, I know we're wrapping it up. Tell us how they can contact you again. Your IG, your Facebook, your this and that, so that people can connect with you. And then one last parting word from you, man, and and we'll go from there. Go for it.
Awesome. All right. Y'all can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Joel Roman. Look me up on IMDb. My credits are up there. You can check me out on quarantinesitcom.com. My movie Late is on lateflix.com. It should be on Amazon soon. www.actorjoelroman.com. I also do Zoom acting classes. Reach out, $60 an hour, and I break it down everything. We do improv, code reading, monologues, scene study, the business. Because remember, this is show business. No business, no show. So you got to know about the business, and I'll walk you through it. I'm telling you, 20 years. I've been doing this since I was 19, and I'm still getting mentored, baby. Woo! Right now, big shout out to Ken Davenport. He's my Broadway mentor. He's a producer and won 2 Tony Awards for Altar Boys and Godspell. And he's helping me now. He's mentoring me. to get my shows on Broadway. So find yourself a mentor. I'll mentor you. You know, it's gonna cost you $6 an hour. But you know, that's what it is. You gotta pay, baby. Let me tell you something. Don't be tripping when somebody throws a dollar sign at you for what they know. Cause you don't know what they've been through. And let me tell you something. If you knew my journey, the New York blocks that I ran, the buses I caught in Hollywood before I got my car, I run. I run. Chase your dream. You gotta chase it. So don't be scared to invest in yourself. Especially as an artist, baby. Invest in yourself. Just be around the right people. Because you don't want to invest inappropriately. Because there are people out there that will take advantage of you and say you got to do this with that. No, no. Get with the right clique and the right people. But invest in yourself. Invest, classes, headshots, resumes, networking, marketing. Let me tell you, I've invested 6 figures so far. 6 figures. All right. And I'm waiting to see it back. Because it is. It's coming back tenfold, baby. Because I believe in God. I trust God. And let me tell you something. I encourage you to trust the process. No matter what you're going through in life, trust the process. Believe big, especially as an entertainer. You might not see it right away. You might see it right away. But guess what? It might slow down. When I first got to Hollywood, everybody was calling me. I was like, "Where on Rice?" Then the last 2 years, the calls got down. Trust the process. Don't, whenever you feel like worrying or getting self-pity, go bless somebody. Go bless someone. Because guess what? Someone else has it worse than you. And trust me, your spirit will turn around. And I'm telling you, I already know. I got that feeling God gonna look down like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Trust the process. Keep running. Chase your dream. Dream big. And stay away from dream killers, man.
All right, you heard it right here. Dream big. Joe El Nino Roman. Joe El Nino Roman. Hey, we're gonna see you on quarantinesitcom.com, Pure Platinum Films, big things going on. Looking forward to see. I'm gonna bring you back, man, so you can tell us about some of the things that happened after this big situation that you got going on. And thanks again, man, for showing up, showing out, giving the energy, bringing the power, and answering the question about how you could take your passion and turn it into a profit. Man, hey, it's good to see you. I'm getting ready to showcase my daughter real quick as we say see you later. I don't say goodbyes, man. I see you later. All right, bro.
Thank you,
Be
brother. Thank you
blessed.
for the opportunity.
All right, my man. Take care. That is Joe El Nino Roman. Go to actorjoelroman.com. Check it out. All right, listen, I told you guys I wanted to introduce you to my daughter, Brittany Ross. So I'm going to bring up some information for you so you can actually hear this beautiful sound, this beautiful voice. As you can see, she's also beautiful too. So I'm I can't take any responsibility for that. I have to, definitely uh, give responsibility, give that to her mom. you know, I thank her for the beauty that she gave us in our beautiful children. But let's hear from my daughter, Brittany Ross, with her new song, You Win. We had some technical difficulties. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Mm. Though your heart's been broken and the pain's unspoken, know the Lord, He has you, and you still have value. Trials may come to test your faith, but you know they go away. Yes, the story of your life still unfolds. Right now you don't understand how you fit into His plan. Though it seems you lost, you win. You made a decision. What's the point of living at all? Feel like I can answer you. Something deep inside you saying that you can make it through. You're stronger than you'll ever know. Troubles from me yesterday only come to test your faith. The darkest part of night is just before the day. Oh, everything that you've prayed for is waiting for you through that door. Because victory was in the plan before. See, the night is over and you're growing stronger. Time for you to smile now. Look into the sky now. Felt like you were all alone. God was with you all along. You were stronger than you ever knew. Celebrate a brighter day. Now that you can find your way. When it seems you lost, you win. When it seems you lost, you win. Oh, though it seems you lost, know that you're gonna make it. Know that you're gonna make it. Know that you're gonna make it. Through hard trials, confusion, that is faithful. Through hard trials, confusion, that is faithful. No matter what you're going through, God will see you through.
Hey, I do want to say I apologize. I had a double side of this thing going on, two different sides. I didn't even realize that. But thank you, P. Irene, for letting me know about that. I couldn't hear it. I could only hear the studio side. I did not hear that side. But I want to say thank you for Brittany Ross for sharing this beautiful song, beautiful voice. And, hey, listen, guys. Uh, Passion to Profits TV is set up for you to tell people about your passion, to express your passion, to let people know what it is on the inside of you that gives you that thing that makes you want to wake up in the middle of the night and keep it going. So many people right now are looking for ways to make money and, all this kind of stuff. What is it that God has put inside of you? What's your talent, your ability, your gift? You need to stir that thing up. You got to discover it and then put it to work in the earth. That's what the book is all about. No More Crumbs from the Table. It's celebrating you and your tag. Get your talent together, get your ability together, and get your gifts together and get them out there and let the people make the decisions. Because let me tell you, when you're doing the thing that you love, the passion is coming through, it's not work at all. It's the fact that you are committed to everything because you're all in, like Joel said. All in, Joel Roman said. Be all in with what you have on the inside of you. Be all in with that gift. Be all in with that talent. Be all in with that ability. Be all in with your tag. Take the time to figure it out. Hey, thank you so much for riding with us. Dwayne Ross, DwayneRoss.com if you need to get a consultation in reference to your own book and your own story for the Write Your Story course. Also, just want to invite you to Passion to Profits TV next week from 7 to 8 p.m. every Saturday. This is show number 32. I couldn't believe it unless I looked at it myself. I was like, 32 weeks we've actually presented and put information before you, and it's only going to get better. I'm working on getting this show on the Roku. Now I'm also working on getting some people to start working with me, so I'm not doing everything myself, and I really look forward to that. But I want to say to you, thank you for showing up. Thank you for engaging in the conversation with our actor Joel Roman, and thank you for supporting Brittany Ross. You can find that song anywhere if you go over, on Google Play, Apple Tune, iTunes, Apple Play, YouTube Music, wherever you want to find music, you can check it out. Brittany Ross, you win. And with that, I want to say shout out to Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris doing what they needed to do, and you doing what you needed to do. All through these last few months, we've been saying vote, right? Get out there and let your voice be heard. And people were saying it's not going to happen, but I was downtown today in front of the White House. Only on June 1st, people were getting smashed, knocked to the ground, walked over by the police, beat, all kind of stuff, tear gas in their face, rubber bullets being shot at right there in that same space where I was today, where they were celebrating in front of the church, celebrating across from the White House lawn, celebrating that this, what we've been through the last couple of years, is just not what we want. We want something better. So hopefully you decided to vote for humanity because it seemed like things were going toward the other side, right? Less humanity, and definitely more compass was broken. But I want to leave you with this whole idea that, John Lewis, you guys know, John Lewis and Ruth Gator Burn, Bader, I'll mess up her name, but you know that these people, they fought hard. Dr. King fought hard. People died for the opportunity for us to get our lives in a place that we can at least feel better about what we're doing. So I hope that you were one of those people that stood up for what was best for our entire country, not just certain people in the country. All right. Take care. Be blessed. And we'll see you on the next page, the next post, the next YouTube video, or the next live. All right. Have a good night.